Let's talk about finding stocks to trade. One of the most common questions we get is, how do you know what to trade day in and day out? We're going to give you a few tips here on how to set yourself in the right direction every single morning when it comes to short-term trading. And we're going to focus on very, very short-term trading. And I'll start things off, guys. The key here is going to be volume. We need things that are active in the pre-market.
Yes, you definitely want something active.
All right, he did it all, so we're done.
I know.
Like, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Step 2 on that, of course, is I find you want to find something that either is or has the potential to get into a new trading range, right? And then, look, it doesn't always have to be a breakout. The example I'm going to show you was a break out of a range, but it's not necessarily to the upside. And it's just Moderna from a couple of days ago. So, under pressure, you had the CEO. I mean, look, talk of the CEO deleting Twitter and some other nonsense for a catalyst, and you had some volatile pre-market action. But where you had the action is what's important to me. When I pull up the 15-minute, is it at a key level? Here is what 156 looked like the week before the news. Support, once broken, ran away from that price to the tone of $10. When it broke back to the upside, ran away from that price on one day $8, and then making a double top here, another $12 off that high. So what it tells me is that once we get away from that 146 area, it's got some legs to it. And that's what was appealing about the stock that day. And I'm telling you this from the standpoint of I was watching 2 or 3 names that morning, and Moderna was one of them, but I wasn't aggressive enough with it. And I think when I look back at the different setups, they both were entering breakout ranges, but the potential for move was larger in Moderna. And in retrospect, that's why I should have chosen it. So the potential for something to break and then have a monstrous gap that it can start to fill in here. And if it had only gone down to like a 148 or even a 152, those are still fantastic trades for you. But it's catalyst. It's also something breaking out of a defined range to give you potential upside.
All right, yeah, I mean, you just used the word catalyst, and I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. And I mean, I have a sticky note, but how do I get to this is really the question. You can follow it at TraderTV Sean, check the sticky note every day, but the question really is that how do we develop this sticky note? And I just do it, from our watch list, because, any kind of story that might be happening in the AM, obviously, as Brendan said, will come with news. But let's just throw on our earnings report, our earnings calendar. I mean, this is honestly really all that I look at. So I sort of look at this an earnings report similar to this, and this one doesn't have too many names on it, but I'm familiar as a shareholder with restaurant brands right there in the middle, or Marriott, trying to figure out like what am I looking for, and it's not to like get into their report and figure out, oh, what does Marriott expect? What are the bookings like? What is this? What is that? It's more about like, hey, is there something that I want to trade that makes some sense for me today? And Neil was just talking about stuff. What about Virgin Galactic? They came out with a bookings report, and you're seeing today up 33%. So here it is, right? I missed the trade early, but again, because of the percent that it's up, because it's doing 153 million shares, we can find some key levels. Look at it taking off here today. So it's about finding the news, and then Brendan said volume, but look, when we came in today at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:39, it wasn't doing 153 million shares, but it was doing some volume here in the pre-market, and we knew there was news. So you kind of just got to put it all together. I look at earnings, I look at our watch list, and basically, Twitter is full of information, right? You can find Brendan, myself, Neil. Join us in a chat. Join your favorite sort of chat groups. Look for watch lists. And I just think if everybody else is watching it, you don't need to follow the herd, but that is a great place to start. So look to see what everyone else is trading, and honestly, just see if it makes sense for you, because that's the key.
That leads perfectly into one more point, and that is relative volume, guys. And Sean, you mentioned, Space wasn't doing 100 million shares in the pre-market, but if a stock typically trades 50, 100 shares pre-market, and it's doing 100,000 shares in the pre-market, that is the key. So understand relative volume. What does it normally do at that time versus what is it doing today? So there we go. A few tips, guys, on how we can find better stocks to trade every single day.